Hi, and welcome to Good Deeds Real Estate with a Mission. I'm Diane Davidson of the Fine Homes Group, and Keller Williams is my partner, every kind of partner, Bill Weidecker. Hi.
Howdy.
So, in preparation or lack thereof today, we decided to just cover a few topics that are all the buzz, right?
Yeah, I did a little
Oh,
preparation.
that's
You
fair.
may not
May
have.
not have.
It's interesting because we look at the numbers every single day, and the single-family homes in the entire state of New Hampshire today are just under 2,000, 1,985 single-family homes for sale in the entire state. And then you look at, you say, well, what does that mean to me? In the city of Manchester, there's 47 active single-family homes on the market. Take a town like Bedford, there's 27. And, it's not that long ago where there were 100 plus homes on the market in Bedford on an ongoing basis. There were a few hundred homes on the market in Manchester, and steadily over the last 5 or 6 years, that number's been going down and down and down. And then you told me, what about Bedford with 27 single-family homes?
Well, it went down and down and down to like 4 in Bedford.
Yeah.
4 and 7, and
Yeah.
what's happening now, because we do watch the numbers every day, so I was thinking of not special preparation, just information that we look at. In Bedford, although there may be 27 or 28, and it got as high as 31 recently, up to 18 or so of those listings are listings that have sort of been sitting on the market, right? So there's, if you subtract those listings, there are really 10 or 12 or so that kind of move in and move out, come on the market, sell, come on the market, sell. So that's what I look at. When I look at the number in Bedford, I also look at the days on market for the ones that have been on longer, and I gotten to know them. They're like old friends. They're just there every single morning when I look.
So are those properties just either, are they non-sellable properties, or are they new construction, or overpriced, or?
Well, many of those. First of all, nothing's non-sellable, right? Would you agree if it's prepared properly and priced properly? If the price reflects what
Sure.
the market will bear. And some are new construction, but they're what we call paper listings, which is something that where the shovel hasn't gone in the ground yet. You're buying off of plans and specs. And so those days on market tend to tick up, and sometimes the builder chooses to start the home, and sometimes they wait for someone who's looking to build from scratch to come along. So paper listings is the term that we use in the business. And then some are just not the appeal and the price do not line up. So there's a price at which they will sell, and could they sell at that price if they were prepared and marketed differently? Yes.
So I guess that begs the question that I is sort of nagging with me is if you've got 10 that are actively coming on the market, going off the market, and there's just you're single digits really, and take even the city of Manchester, maybe that number is just a little more than that. Maybe it's 15, 20 that are coming on and going off, and the rest are just sort of there all the time. With that low of a number, why do sellers? I mean, we get this question. Why do I need to do anything to my house? Why do I need to spend any time, effort, money preparing it when it seems like everything is selling in New Hampshire?
You don't need to spend any time at all as long as you price it accordingly, right? So buyers, we'd say the first showing is online, what buyers see online. And if the price doesn't match what doesn't in their head seem representative of the value to them, onward. They go to the next, they click off. They go to the next listing. So we call that the first showing, because that's usually how people find their house or see it for the first time. So if you all the need to prepare is only if you want the best combination of price and terms. And apparently, with the houses that sit, it's very apparent that houses that sit on the market were not prepared to justify the price, or not priced to justify lack of preparation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so it still matters then, for sure. And it's interesting because I wonder, you can maybe answer this question, is there a number if I'm going to do $5,000 worth of preparation, or $2,000, or whatever the number is there a number that I need to factor into my price? Is it equal? In other words, let's say I need $2,500 worth of prep, and I say I'm not doing that. Let's reduce the price by $2,500. Is that enough?
Probably not.
Why?
So, because, you like to say paint in a can is $50, paint on the wall is thousands, right?
Yeah.
So, there's a formula that we use somewhere between 5 and 7%, probably closer to 7%. Value is added to a home if you invest in preparing it properly. So let's say you're spending $5,000 in theory. So it's a $500,000 home. The home is worth $25,000 more, right? But there are other factors that come into it. The time that it sits on the market, if you don't prepare it properly and the price is not commensurate with its condition, then sitting on the market is every day a property is on the market, it's pretty much going down in value, right? So if you do that down the road, you're playing catch up, if you will. But it also matters what you do, right? Some of the things are sort of, what people call staging, but preparation and aesthetic preparation definitely brings value. But if you leave things that are necessary, if you have rotting wood around your garage doors and dented garage doors, frankly, don't bother replacing the garage doors, because people like you, as you like to say, and I've talked about this on other podcasts when I've been talking to myself, when Nicole's been sitting in. You people judge what they can't see by what they can see. So if you're going to, you shouldn't spend money preparing. You should invest money preparing, and investing means spending it wisely. And that's really where the professionals come in. And frankly, Bill, any agent who says don't do anything, or don't replace the carpet, someone might want their own color. We've talked about this before. They might want their own color. What we know they don't want is stained, smelly carpet, right? I don't want to pick on cats this time.
Yeah.
So the point is that if it's invested properly, you are absolutely going to get the best return.
And it's funny because we're talking about our industry, and yet we know this in the past as it relates to automobiles, right? What's one of the first things you want to do when you're going to sell a car in the market and sell it in the open market? Let's go get the car detailed. Let's make sure we're up to date on our servicing. And I've always heard from people that are in that industry is if you've got an owner that can show you all the service records for their car and the car is immaculate and everything looks pristine, that you tend to ask a lot more questions about, well, what's the condition when you've got all this supporting data? And so back to people judge what they can't see by what they can see is very true. It's very true. And sometimes it doesn't need to be a lot. People will say, well, I'm going to need to replace the pavement. I'm going to need to replace the roof. I'm going to do all this work. Maybe that isn't where they want to spend their money first.
Correct. That's right. Well, again, if we go back to the online being the first showing, it's really wonderful to have an infrastructure like the roof and heating system and windows that are great. Those support the decision someone's already made emotionally. They make it emotionally. Most people aren't. You can't even search by new roof. It's not a great criteria. But people are looking by pictures, by photos and description, right? And so they're falling in love, or they're including or excluding the property from their search. And then if they need to back it up with some great things like a new roof and new windows. But the point is that people are buying the right shade of paint on the walls and you're much better off to, for instance, paint your cabinets if they need a little freshening, than you are to spend triple that on a new roof.
Yeah, and so people aren't always saying, well, it's going to need a new kitchen, and the carpet's awful, and I'm going to have to paint every room in the house. But the roof is new.
Exactly.
That was the tipping point. It's not that, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, this is good to know that we still believe that property preparation is going to, even if you've got 3 or 4 properties that you might compete with instead of 30 or 40, you got to stand out.
Absolutely. Yep. Can I ask you a question, though?
Yes.
Are you planning to sell the car because you wash it like every week?
I wash the car because it makes me happy. That's the only reason.
I'm glad you're happy. Okay, we'll quit more ahead. So thanks for playing. Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast platform or subscribe to our YouTube channel.